when my mother died of lung cancer. We knew that this day was going to happen, but emotionally we were not prepared for her to leave us. We were not ready to make the difficult choice of making funeral planning and arrangement for her service. But when the day happened for us to go to the funeral home, it was easy. And the reason why it was easy is because my mother had already pre-planned her own funeral. Hi, my name is Vivian Pierce. I am a licensed funeral director apprentice and embalmer at the Ellen Pierce Funeral Home. Today I will be talking about pre-planning your own funeral. And after listening to my presentation, you will know what it means to pre-plan your funeral, the advantages of pre-planning your funeral, and the importance of doing so. What is a pre-need? Pre-need is another word for pre-planning a funeral. Pre-planning a funeral can be done without paying for it now, but pre-paying for your funeral, in addition to planning it, can allow you to pay for your funeral ahead of time, and when that time comes, everything is already taken care of. As noted in the article, should you prepay for your own funeral expenses, about 32% of all Americans over the age of 50 have already made pre-arrangements for their burial and their funeral, for themselves or for someone else, according to a survey that was conducted by AARP in 2007. One may ask, what is involved in this pre-planning process? This process can be detailed as you like, or is as simple as making your wishes known. According to the survey conducted by USA Today, people choose to make funeral arrangements ahead of time for two reasons. One, so that their survivors will not have to pay for it for them, and that they will not have to worry about it. And secondly, is to guarantee that the individual wishes are carried out and taken care of exactly as they would want them to be. I know that talking about having a conversation about pre-planning a funeral is not an easy subject to discuss for many people, and it is hard to bring up. As common as death is in some society, it is a taboo to talk about it. Doing so does not mean that you will die sooner. Instead of not talking about your funeral, advanced funeral planning, take this as an opportunity to plan things ahead of time, and to just having your family to know what your wishes are known. And also you could use this time, once if your pre-plan is already done, your family can use this as a time to commemorate your life and talk about the good things about you, and not to be so sorrowful and grieful at that time, because you have already planned the things the way you would want them to be. Some advantages of pre-planning a service: when death occurs, family members are left to make all the difficult decisions of arranging a funeral, sometimes without warning. Pre-planning allows you to protect your family members or friends from the stress of difficult funeral decisions at the time of emotional distress. It also eliminates any guesswork about what kind of choices you might have preferred. Advanced funeral planning is a decision only you can make. Contact a funeral director of your choice to help you with the arrangements. At the Ellen Pierce Funeral Home, we have developed a brochure that we like to distribute to people to help them with the pre-planning process, and it lists some of the things that may be needed when you get ready to make pre-planning arrangements. This is just a brief listing of things that it would include, like your name, address, phone number, your birthplace, and it goes on and on. There are other things in addition to this generic information and this. When you pre-plan your funeral, you have the opportunity to pick your own casket. You have the opportunity to decide on what your burial plot would be. So pre-planning is important, if you want things done the way you would like. You may say, well, I know that my family is going to give me my desire, but that's not always the case. And also one advantage of pre-planning your funeral, by purchasing your funeral in advance, you can look at the cost of the funeral based on today's prices. Whatever you get it for today, if you die 50, 20 years from now, the same thing would be in effect. With the funeral costs rising at a rate of 5%, this would be a wise thing to do and to avoid inflation. Look at this as a gift that you can leave for your family, that they would not have to deal with in the time of your death. Meet with a local funeral director of your choice to discuss pre-planning today. Don't leave this into the hands of others to make decisions for you. Remember, pre-planning does not mean that you would die today or sooner.